Welcome everyone to another episode of the Travel Royally podcast. Today we're joined by Miss Ellie Docherty. She has spent some time playing in the U.S. in college. She's currently a Scottish amateur golfer, former All-American in the U.S. You guys are going to enjoy it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Travel Royally podcast. Today, we're very excited to have as our guest Scottish amateur golfer Ellie Docherty on today. And Ellie and I are members of the same club, Murray Golf Club in Lossiemouth, Scotland. She started playing golf at age 14, which is relatively late, but she quickly became a very strong player, even winning the Murray Ladies Club Championship at 16, which made her the youngest woman to do so. She went on to play golf in the U.S. at Daytona State College, where she was an All-American. And after graduating from Daytona State, she moved on to play at the Stirling University, I should say, in Scotland, where she's still a member of the golf team. Ellie, welcome to the Travel Royally podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
We're really excited to have you. And the way that I came about finding you was I heard about your exploits with your good play this summer. And I said, I've never heard of this woman. I want to call you a girl because you're so young, but you're a woman. So,
Yeah.
and before we went on the air, we were talking about how about your relatives and who your great uncle was, and he was the pro there.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, you came to golf relatively late. So how were you introduced to the game?
Well, like I said, all my mum's side of the family are golfers and obviously quite heavily involved at Murray Golf Club. My parents always encouraged myself and my two younger brothers to play sports. And I ended up just playing a whole bunch of sports before I eventually took to golf. But yeah, it took me a little while, but yeah, I got there.
Well, I'm glad that you did. Well, first of all, you became very good very quickly, right? You've only been playing for 6 or 7 years. Who was your instructor? Was it your great uncle?
Well, my granda Farker, so Alistair's brother, he was, I guess, my first instructor. He would take me out. He was a scratch golfer in his day. We would go out to the chipping green, and he'd drop a few balls for me. And
Yeah.
I mean, as I started playing, I was just hooked. Yeah, I guess he was my first instructor, and then John Murray, the professional now at golf club, and Derek Ramsey. They've been very supportive and helped me a lot.
Yeah, they're good friends of mine. They keep my my trolley in the attic in their shop. So whenever I come over,
Oh,
they pull it down, and yeah. Because
awesome.
I was tired of, I just bought one and said, just keep it up in the attic. And
Yeah,
yeah,
fair
but they're
enough.
very good.
Hmm.
So how's your game at the moment? I know you've had a good summer.
Yeah, it's good actually. I'm feeling really confident in my game. I've been working really hard, and it's showing in my scores now. So yeah, I'm delighted.
Yeah. Well, as I was preparing for this, I was Googling you or stalking you, depending upon how you look at it. And I came across an article. I want to say it was in Golf or Golf Digest magazine over here. And it said the best college golf program you've never heard of. And it was about Stirling University. So
Yeah.
that's a great tribute to you. How did you come to play at Stirling?
Um, well, so I have a lot of friends that have come through Stirling, and are now playing professional golf. Kelsey McDonald, Hannah McCook, Tara McTaggart. Tara and Hannah are playing professionally just now. Louise Duncan too. And my very close friend Lorna McClymont, she's currently on the golf team at Stirling. And I was over in the States and was making the decision whether to stay over there or come back to Scotland. And yeah, I've always heard such good things about Dean and the program at Stirling. And I had a few conversations with Lorna, and she was quite encouraging. She encouraged me to come back and play at Stirling, so I contacted Dean, and he very kindly gave me a spot on the scholarship program. So that was
Excellent.
awesome.
Excellent.
Mhm.
What schools were you considering here in the States?
I looked at a couple. I really liked the area I was at in Daytona. And Stetson, I actually I know of a girl that just graduated not long ago from Stetson University. They actually practiced at the LPGA International where we used to practice at too.
Yeah.
So going there. I also looked at a school over in California, Fresno State. So I was also all the way over the other side, but that looked like a good school, and I knew a girl that went there as well. So, but yeah, ultimately made the decision to come back here to Scotland.
Yeah. It's funny. Another connection. A friend of mine is the former men's golf coach at Fresno State.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh,
But
cool.
Stetson's a very good school too. It's a private school.
Yeah.
It's really expensive. So hopefully you would have had a scholarship to help pay for that.
No, exactly.
Well, tell us about your summer. You've played a lot of strong golf from the results I saw online.
Yeah. Oh, it has been really good. I started this summer winning the the Northern Counties Championships. That was awesome. It was stroke play into match play, and yeah, I won that. I've been wanting that one for a few years. I've been beaten in the semi-final and the final.
Yeah.
So that was awesome to win that. I played really good golf. I won the club championships at Murray again for the fourth time, I think, and that was awesome. Played really good golf in terrible conditions. I don't know if you know, but over here, July was horrendous.
Yeah.
So windy. I think so we played 4 rounds of stroke play. All the rounds were in like a 3-4 club wind. It was just classic golf. And then most recently, I won the North of Scotland Ladies Championship. So yeah, chuffed to win that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And you know, the club has a great history, Murray, of great women being associated. Going back to Meg Farquhar, she was the first female professional in Scotland.
She's an ancestor of mine.
And that's amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, so I know the club's very proud of you and what you've accomplished. Now, you poor girl, you had to leave the beautiful weather in Scotland in Murrayshire for Daytona. How did you land at Daytona State? You poor girl.
So, I know it was really tough. Yeah, I actually through caddying at Castle Stewart, I met these lovely American guys, and I wasn't obviously playing any college golf at that point, and they encouraged me to look into scholarships in the States. They actually contacted my coach at Daytona State and helped me get my scholarship. They were so supportive, and yeah, I still keep in touch with them today. They still support me today. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your experience in America?
It was an experience. I went over to Daytona in August 2020. So peak COVID, everything was shut down. And not long after I got there, they shut the programs down at Daytona State and they sent the athletes home. So I ended up coming home not long after, a couple months after I'd arrived. Didn't play a single tournament in my first year at Daytona. But I went back my second year, got loads of golf, absolutely loved it. Loved my team, came really close with the girls over there, and yeah, had a blast.
Yeah, I truly, it's hard to imagine anything more different going from Lossiemouth to Daytona Beach. I mean,
streets apart, totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, you mentioned that you caddied at Castle Stewart, which is now Cabot Highlands, which is a spectacular just a spectacular golf course. I know it's 15 years old or what have you, but it's it feels like it's been there 100 years, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many seasons did you caddy there?
I've well, I'm actually still caddying there. I worked there this morning. I did a bag
Okay.
this morning. But I think it's about 5 summers I've done at Castle Stewart now.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Oh, I love it. It's really good fun. Meet loads of interesting people. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
And you get paid well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always a good thing.
It's always good.
Yeah. So what impact did playing golf in the US have on your game?
Um, well, I mean, as you know, Florida courses totally different to the links golf that I'd been brought up on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always had a naturally lower ball flight,
Yeah.
and going over there, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to launch the ball a little higher here. But yeah, I caught COVID not long after I arrived in Florida as well. And I was sick for a few months, just didn't feel 100% at all. Really, really weird. So that took a toll on my game, honestly, physically and mentally. Lost a lot of confidence in the golf course. So it really took me that next year into my second year at Daytona State to really feel, start feeling a bit more confident in the golf course, get my game back. And but yeah, in my second year, I started posting some good scores and started playing well again. But yeah, it was a huge change. A lot of yeah.
Well, you
A lot of
played
things
very
going on.
well. You played very well because you were an All-American. But
Yeah.
I think something that's important to note for the people listening, that the reason I asked that question is I'm sure that experience made you a better golfer playing where you had to adjust your ball flight. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't come in with a low ball flight on soft greens all the time. It's obviously better to hit a higher shot that stops and drops, so to speak. Drops
Yeah,
and
definitely.
stops, I should say.
Well, yeah, exactly right. And I think what I was never used to playing, uh, the courses in America have so much water, and you've got to carry your drive over water. You got to, all carry to the,
Yeah.
tee to green and stuff like that. So yeah, there was no bump and run playing a lower shot in and stuff. It was, you have to flight all the way to the green, and yeah, I really had to launch my driver a bit higher and getting used to really carrying over some big lakes and stuff like that. So
Yeah. That
yeah,
reminds
very
me.
different.
That reminds me. Do you know Jim Young? Do you know Jim Young?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's an older gentleman, right? He's a former captain as well of the
Mm-hmm.
club.
Yeah, right.
He won, but when he was a young man, he won the club championship at Crail twice. But if you've ever
Oh,
played
really? I
with
didn't know that.
him, he uses a 7-iron like a magic wand, bumping and running from 50 yards out
Really?
to just off the side of the green. And he taught me how to play that shot. And it's made me a better golfer here because I think more creatively about how to attack a hole. And obviously, I'm not as good a golfer as you, but I would think that experience in America, giving you the ability to alter your ball flight, makes you a better, more rounded golfer.
Well, definitely. I mean, at Sterling University, we travel across Europe and play. So last year we were in France playing at Le Golf National. Now that was very similar to the golf I played out in the States, more lush. There was a lot of carryover water and stuff like that. So, I actually, I the first 2 rounds there, I played really, really solid golf. And I think definitely my experience out in the States helped me. I knew how to play some of those shots where you really have to get the ball up quickly and stop it quickly as well. So yeah, it definitely helped with that.
Yeah. Did you have a good season with Sterling this past year?
Um, yeah, I would say it was a little bit of a struggle at times. We did play some, we play some fairly difficult golf courses. And the standard of golf is amazing. I'm competing against girls that are really, really good, super low handicaps. But no, I'm reasonably happy. I think I had a lot to work on, and I learned a lot. Yeah, so I think it's definitely paid off. Seeing how much my game's improved now in the summer, coming back and playing, I have definitely improved massively. I'd say I had an okay season. I'm gonna go for better this next season, though.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you at the end of this, when we're done, I'll tell you about my daughter's experience in being an All-American, and you're already an All-American, but I want to share with you what changed her direction in life by becoming an All-American, and it didn't have anything to do with soccer.
Okay.
So, so you've got 2 more seasons at Sterling. One question I've
3,
got
sorry.
is, pardon me, 3 more.
3 more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the how's the caliber of play? You said it's very strong there. How do you think it compares to women's golf in the U.S. at the collegiate level, both at the junior college level and the D1 level?
I mean, I would say the girls I'm competing against. I mean, I'm competing against girls +3, +4, +5, +6, of that level. So very, very good golfers. And yeah, I would say, yeah, I would say it's similar. It's just a case of these girls maybe decided America wasn't for them. They wanted to stay and play, go to university here in Scotland, and probably, would have had the chance to go over to America if they wanted to play college golf over there.
Yeah, I think as you were answering the question, the thought that came to mind is there are just so many more good golfers here. I mean, we're a country of 320 million. Scotland's a country of 6 million, right? I mean, it's the sheer number of players is greater here, but those at the top are, I'm sure, equally as good. So,
yeah, definitely.
So when you graduate, what do you plan on doing after uni?
Not 100% sure. I would absolutely love to play professional golf at some level. That would be my ultimate goal. I'm studying sports psychology at the moment. So I think I'd always like to be involved in golf in some shape or form. But I'm just, yeah, focusing on my next few years at Sterling, going to play good golf and see how it goes.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Now, we talked about your working at Castle Stewart, and obviously you like that. What do you think of the course itself?
I think it's a fantastic course. Anytime I get the chance to play there, I think it's a real treat. It's stunning. The views are just incredible there. Yeah, it's always in such great condition. Greens are awesome. Fairways are kept, perfectly. So yeah, I think it's an awesome course to play.
Now, is that correct me if I'm wrong? I know some of the courses of that ilk shut down for 6 months, like Kingsbarn shuts down for 6 months, and Dumbarton shuts down for the winter. I think it's about a 6-month, maybe it's a 5-month period. Yeah. Does Cabot Highlands do the same thing?
Yeah, they're the same. They close for the winter season. Yep.
Yeah. We had the general manager of Cabot Highlands on the podcast. Now that I think about it. Yeah. Probably 6 months ago. Yeah, he was great because he was involved in opening Kingsbarns. And then came up with Mark Parsinen to do what was Castle Stewart. Right. What was your favorite course that you played in the U.S.?
We played a lot of great courses. Uh, the one that stands out to me would be Jacksonville Country Club. I really, I really enjoyed that one. That was stunning, and it helped I played really good.
Yeah.
I had my first hole in one there in the tournament. So I've got some great memories of there. Yeah, that was a beautiful course. I really enjoyed there.
Yeah. And your home course or where you practice is LPGA National? Is that correct?
Yeah, that was where we used to practice there. We also we played mostly at a course called Plantation Bay, about half an hour from campus in Daytona. Really, really nice course.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to play TPC up in Jacksonville?
No, I went there. No, I went to watch the players, but didn't. No, not played it.
Yeah. That's a fantastic layout. Those 4 closing holes are just
Mm-hmm.
amazing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, yeah. We sat and watched them play 17, and then walked with them the last couple of groups and watched them play 18 as well. Amazing. Those last 2 holes.
Yeah. Well, when you watch it on TV, to watch them take that ball out over the water, right? And sometimes you've seen guys clear the water by, literally inches, and it's all about
Exactly.
cutting the corner. Another course that reminds me of that, cutting the corner, is Bay Hill, where they have the
Oh
Arnold
yeah.
Palmer Invitational. And I don't know if you remember a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Bryson DeChambeau was attempting to drive a par 5. Instead of going around the lake, he was trying to fly it over the entire
Uh-huh.
lake, which
I
is
remember.
insane. Which brings
Yeah.
to mind
No.
something that I want to ask you that I hadn't thought about until just now. Um, I watched the Women's British Open at Walton Heath, and the women played beautifully. Obviously, I watched the women's Scottish as well, but I'm thinking about a couple of players in particular, and their swings are just so fluid and natural. And then you look at the men, and
Mm-hmm.
there seem to be 2 different games. Like, seems like the men are hitting it, swinging as hard as they can, like just grip it, rip it, go find it, and do it again. And women seem to be
Mm-hmm.
more finesse. Do you see that continuing, or are there women out there who are the grip it and rip it types?
I think there are definitely women, some players that are the grip it and rip types. Yeah, I mean the likes of, well, Anne Van Dam. I mean, she just absolutely crushes the ball.
Yeah.
She hits it a long way. But I think in the women's game, you see there's actually the distance off the tee or whatever. Actually, it's a big factor, but you don't necessarily need to have it. It's a lot about consistency, and you see, yeah, it's a lot about consistency, hitting the fairways, chipping and putting, and yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. A couple of weeks ago, we had a woman on. She's my golf instructor. Her name's Angela Ormsby, and she spent 7 years on the LPGA tour. And I'm bragging on her, but one year she led the tour in sand saves. But she's obviously an accomplished golfer. She was an All-American at Georgia, and they won a national title and all that. But her husband's an instructor as well at the same club, or they were. And she and I would go out and play a 9-hole match against him and one of his students. And I'm telling you
Mm-hmm.
the absolute truth. She played from our tees. I never saw her miss a fairway or green, ever. She shot even par every time we played. And I said, how are you not still on the tour? And she said, have you seen me putt? And I go, what are you talking about? She goes, have you ever seen me make a putt? And I said, I've never seen you 3-putt. She goes, you can't play on the LPGA if you can't putt, right? She goes, I judge speed well, but not line. So she, by my standards, she's a very good putter. But by LPGA standards, you can't two putt. You can't go around the course in 36 putts and expect to stay on the LPGA tour.
No, putting
anyway.
standards very, very high.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I'm going to take a wild guess. Murray's got to be your favorite golf course in the world, the old course there. But other than that, what's your favorite golf course in Scotland?
Yeah, I am really biased. I do love Murray. It's a good question. I really, really love playing Gullen, the first course at Gullen, number 1.
Yeah.
I've played it. Works down there, and he kindly takes me on whenever I'm down that neck of the woods. So, I love it. The view's unreal. Links golf, similar to Murray, a little hillier, a little more to it, a little up and down. But yeah, love Gullen. That's got to be up there with one of my favorites.
Excellent. Have you played Muirfield?
No. I'm gonna say not yet. Hopefully, I can play Muirfield soon. I know I've got a friend that's a member there. It's promised to take me on soon, so I'm gonna hold her to that.
Yeah, I was talking with someone the other day on the podcast, and they were talking about how that's and it's a golf course designer, and he was saying it's just from his perspective, it's it's in the top 5 in the world for a reason. The front 9 is clockwise, the back 9 is counterclockwise. The holes go in different directions, so the wind isn't the same. Like, I don't know if I've played courses in Scotland or in the UK in general, and a couple that come to mind are Dunbar and Royal Cinque where they're 9 holes out, 9 holes back, and you're downwind one way and into the wind coming back, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
Right. But
yeah, it really is.
So you like Gullen. I like Gullen as well. Have you played, obviously you've played the old course at St. Andrews. Do you like that?
Oh yeah, love it. I played there for the first time this year, actually. It was in a tournament with Sterling, and loved it. Really strange feeling when you're actually on the course. And that first tee shot, playing over the hotel at 17, driving up the last. Oh, it was just awesome. Yeah, it's a great course. It wasn't too windy. I think I got the easy scoring day. Thank goodness.
What did you shoot? What did you shoot? Because I pray to God I beat you. What was your best score there?
I was level par on the ladies' tee, which I think the ladies' par might be 74, 75. I was actually one on the 18th tee, and I bogeyed the last, which was a tough finish. But I was relatively happy with that. What did you shoot?
77. I played there about a dozen times. 77 is my best. And I'm guessing that we played the same tees roughly, right? We probably played the same.
Yeah.
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 So did you run into trouble in the Valley of Sin? Is that where your trouble came?
I did. I went for the pin. The pin was like where it was in the Open. It was like right on the left-hand side, just up over the slope, and I went for it, and I just hit it just didn't catch it quite right, left it short. It ran all the way back down the hill, and then I 3-putted from there. So it was, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love St. Andrews, the town, the course, the people. I mean, it's a university town. I just love it there. Do they have a good women's golf program there or no?
They do, yeah. Yeah, we compete against them. They play the same RNA tournaments that we do when we travel across Europe. I'm good friends with a lot of girls on the team there. Very, very good standard of golf too.
Good. So what's left? Well, you probably have a long list, but what's at the top of your golf bucket list?
Of courses I want to play.
Well, no, just in general, like, yeah, okay, yeah, courses you want to play.
Uh, I've never played Carnoustie, and that's one that I would really, really love to play. I've walked around it. I walked around it when the Open was there a few years ago.
Yeah.
Been down to Carnoustie a lot and would love to play there.
Yeah, that's a fantastic links. Have you played Fortrose and Rosemarkie?
Yes, that's a good course. That's a tough course.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, the views there are spectacular. I was going to say, if you hadn't played it, it'd be a shame because you see it every time you're in your office, right?
Exactly.
Meaning caddying at Castle Stewart, right?
I know. The lighthouse at the end, Shannon Point,
yeah,
that's actually the line off the 9th tee. That's what I tell the players. Aim for the lighthouse in the distance.
Yeah, when you can see it.
When you can see it, yeah. Which we actually couldn't. It was awful weather today. We got soaked. Those poor guys.
Yeah. Well, so, Ellie, what do you consider to be your biggest achievement in golf so far?
I'm gonna say winning the North of Scotland Ladies Championship this year. Yeah, that was huge. I played some of my best golf I think I've ever played during the course of that tournament. It was stroke play qualifying one round into match play, and I played really really good golf, especially in the final. I played some great golf, so I'm very very proud of myself for that one. And finishing 5th individual out in Florida to get my All-American at nationals. That was really cool. I played in the final group of the tournament, and our team finished 2nd, and I finished 5th individual, and that was really special.
That's fantastic. Cool. I thought your biggest achievement, or at least the one you're most proud of, is beating me on the old course. That's
Yeah, that too. I'm going to add that to the list.
Yeah. Make sure your golf coach knows you beat me. You beat a 60-year-old man on the old course. That's fantastic. So a couple more questions. One is, what advice do you have for young girls who are thinking about taking up the game of golf or playing collegiately? What advice would you give them?
I would encourage them to get out and play as much as they can. Golf has opened so many doors for me over the years since I started playing. I've had the most fun out on the golf course. I've met amazing people. If they have the chance to play college golf, go for it. Yeah. One experience I've had. Definitely. And I think there's now this push for girls to get out and play golf. I think they're really, there's all the opportunity in the world out there for girls now. So yeah, go for it and enjoy it.
Yeah. It's interesting. When you think about it, Ellie, you and I wouldn't have had the occasion to meet. And when I think about how rich my life is because of the people that I've met, even just the people at Murray, right? Your uncle, your great uncle, Charlie Smith and Irene and Evelyn and Joe McClellan and Brent McClellan and Jim Young. And I mean, the list goes on. These are people that are friends of mine that, and because I do this podcast every week, I get to meet amazing people as well. And I get to travel to wonderful places, and it's been amazing. And I truly hope that you do have a lifelong love affair with golf, because it pays back in innumerable ways. Okay, one last question. That is, what advice do you have for people coming over to play links golf for the first time? We send a lot of people over there for the first time, and you've got a lot of experience playing high level golf in the U.S. and high level golf over there. So what advice do you have and you're a caddy, for God's sake, at a great course. So you've seen lots of bad golf.
Yeah, I've seen lots of golf. I'd say number one, you got to have very high acceptance, a lot of patience. You know, these links golf courses, hard fairways, you can get you can get some bad bounces, bad kicks. You know, you can end up in some pretty rough places. But I think that the thing about links golf that I love so much is you can be so creative with different shots, like you were saying earlier. So if you can try and keep the ball in play and away from the bunkers, you're going to be in good shape. And
Excellent. That's wonderful advice. Absolutely wonderful. Well, Ellie, it's been, just great to have you on. And you're a great ambassador, not only for women's golf, but for our club. And as I said earlier, everyone's very proud of what you've accomplished and very hopeful for your future in golf. So thanks so much for investing your time with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been great.
Excellent. Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you so much again for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next week.